Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Okay,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, should we wait or this is the only attendance or devotees will join?
Normally about 10 to 15 people are there.
Okay, then we just wait for a minute. Maybe I'll offer prayers, then we can start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, welcome everyone to this evening session of Scriptural Pastimes. So, we have completed chapter 8 and today we will be starting chapter 9. And the title of this chapter is Appearance of Demon Vritrasura. Okay, so before we go into this chapter, so I just thought like we will just go through little, what do you call, like 1 minute. Anything happens. Can you see my screen?
No, Mataji, we cannot see.
Okay, 1 minute. Something is wrong here.
Yes, now we can see.
Now you can see?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, so before we get into the verses for this chapter, so we'll just do a very crisp recap also, and before that we'll just run through what is the theme of this 6th canto. So this whole canto, the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, runs on a theme called Poshanam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 10th chapter, there's a shloka which says, Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam mutayaha manvantara ishanu katha nirodho muktir ashraya. So this shloka talks about that Bhagavatam describes about Bhagavatam discusses about 10 topics, 10 different topics, of which 6th canto deals with a topic called as Poshanam or protection. So this is that section where devotees make mistakes and spiritual and Supreme Lord protects them. This is the common thread in this whole canto. The Lord just not protects the devotees who made the mistakes, but he also nourishes them, and he eventually offers himself to those devotees. So this canto starts with the pastime of Ajamila, which we have already gone through it, and we have seen Ajamila, who was a devotee. He makes a mistake and he goes astray, and then the Supreme Lord attracts his heart through the Vishnu Dutas. After that, we see the story of Indra. So where Indra is offending his guru Brihaspati, and Indra goes through so many ups and downs in this set of 11 chapters, where the story of Chitraketu Maharaj has also been described. So before Chitraketu Maharaj, the story of the Vritrasura, the demon devotee Vritrasura, that pastime has been described, and then his past life. Vritrasura's past life is he was a Chitraketu. He is a king Chitraketu. That pastime has been described. So the canto starts with Ajamila, where Ajamila makes mistakes and Supreme Lord forgives him and embraces him. And then when Indra makes mistakes, the Supreme Lord forgives him, protects him and embraces him, and also nourishes him. Then the king Chitraketu makes mistakes, and the Supreme Lord protects him and embraces him, and he nourishes him as well. So this is a common theme that goes in this canto, and this is the invisible thread. If we go through this whole canto, right, we feel so much hope. We feel so much sheltered by Supreme Lord Krishna. It's not like that. It's not like we make mistakes and Krishna burns us down to hell. No. Krishna is actually a very, very loving father. And the best example is that we make so many mistakes and Krishna continues to tolerate us. Actually, one sannyasi, in one of the temples, a devotee had asked a question to the sannyasi that, Maharaj, how can I develop a tolerance for other devotees? So Maharaj replied, first I must learn to tolerate others because Krishna tolerates me. It's a very, very deep point. We have made so many mistakes. We make so many mistakes and we will make so many mistakes. But the Paramatma is patiently, follows us through one body to another body. Sometimes we have been Indras, even been in the post of Brahma, and we have followed down to this post of living beings. We are again we may go to the level of Brahma, and again we fall down to the human beings. So actually there is one story, once Krishna and Rukmini, they were having private time in Dwaraka. So at that time, when they were sitting together, so there was an ant which was trying to taste the sugar cube. So Krishna looked at that ant and he smiles. So Rukmini Devi asks, Krishna, that why are you smiling, at this ant? So then Krishna says, this ant has been Indra 28 times. And again, he has become an ant and spending all his energy just to taste a bit of this sugar cube. So we have been gone up and down, just like an elevator goes up and down. Like that, we also have been going through up and down, once like a Brahma, once like an ant, or maybe even to lower species also. We have gone through all these motions, but Krishna never loses hope. He is always there with us as super soul, waiting for that day when we turn towards him. Krishna does not feel even once for a moment that I have given him 5 million chances and he still doesn't improve. forget it. Let me invest my energy in something else. No, Krishna still feels 5 million births he has wasted, but maybe today is the day that he will turn to me. So, Krishna is waiting for us. Therefore, in that affectionate feeling, that the Supreme Lord shares with the devotee, we can never reciprocate. We can never reciprocate to the level of love with that level of love with Krishna. Because we are very insignificant. Our love is also insignificant, completely infinitesimal. And that infinitesimal love that we have, we share with infinite things of this world. We have nothing to offer to Krishna. And even if we offer to Krishna, it is because that we want something from him. I offer this to him because I want something in return from him. That is our mentality. We have so many hidden selfish agendas behind our service to Krishna. But Krishna's love for us is ever increasing, qualitatively and quantitatively. It's infinite. And Krishna's love is selfless, and it is unconditional, it is unmotivated, it is uninterrupted. The more fallen we get, the more merciful Krishna gets on us. It's always a competition. Let's see, who will win. But it's always the Krishna who wins over us, because Krishna wants us to come back to him more than we want to go back to him. This is why this whole canto, the 6th canto, is very heart-wrenching, because even though the Lord is full of 6 opulences, in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he's waiting. Krishna is waiting for jivas to turn towards him. The more mistakes we make, the more he loves us. The more is his compassion. The more he feels, this person needs me more when we make more mistakes. But however, we won't push the Lord to the extent of his final threshold of his mercy. So we try to be sincere. So in this section, very specifically, we see that the story runs from chapter 7 to 17, where chapters 7 to 13 describes the story of Vritrasura, the devotee demon, who is the actual hero of this discussion. And then in the next 5 chapters, from chapter 14 to 17, the remaining 5 chapters, we see it talks about all those chapters talks about Vritrasura's past life. Okay. So now the history is something like this. I'll keep it very, very crisp. So we have Brihaspati, the guru of Indra. He's entered into the courtroom of Indra, the assembly hall of Indra. So as Brihaspati entered, Indra is so absorbed in his own world, where the Apsaras are dancing and Gandharvas are singing. It's almost an offense to his spiritual master that he doesn't pay attention to his guru at all. So he disrespects him and he fails to recognize the presence of his guru. So as soon as Brihaspati doesn't speak anything there, he just leaves. As soon as Brihaspati leaves leaves Indra, the court of Indra, the Indra then realizes that he had made a severe offense against his spiritual master by not regarding the presence of his teacher. So then Tvashta, a well-wishing superior of Indra, he offered his son, whose name is Vishwarup, to be a sacrificial brahmana, a priest or a purohit, who is going to perform yajna so that Indra can become free from the offense that he has committed against his spiritual master. So actually there are offense to spiritual master is actually the worst offense we can think of. There are 2 kinds of offenses as far as we can commit to the spiritual master. One is called Guru Tyagi, to completely reject the bona fide spiritual master. That is called after gaining so much from him. So that is called Guru Tyagi. And what we do, actually, we become very much ingratitude. Actually, we are supposed to be full of gratitude, but we become ingratitude. Why we have to show gratitude? Because whatever we speak, whatever we hear, whatever we write, whatever we know, whatever, to be lived by and practiced, it all happening by the mercy, the tears and blood and sweat of our superiors. But when we use them, when we use these superiors as our ladders, and when we climb up the ladder and pluck the fruits of our success, and we just kick the ladder, that's the most dangerous thing. That's a very pathetic situation of spiritual crisis. Srila Prabhupada also said that a disciple cannot make more advancement than his spiritual master. The spiritual master is most advanced at all times. So Guru Aparadh is a severe offense. That's the part one, that we reject the spiritual master. And the second is called Guru Bhogi. One is Guru Tyagi and another one is Guru Bhogi. What is Guru Bhogi? Guru Bhogi is where we want to take over advantage of our spiritual master. We want to use the position of being the disciple of our Guru to gain material gains. Let's say to fulfill our inner desire. Like, if I pose myself as so and so Guru's disciple, then I will get so much respect. I can get my job done by saying that, do you know, I'm the personal assistant of so and so. And then the people will say, oh, really? Please come in. I'm sorry, I did not know. In this way, we take advantage of the Guru. That is called Guru Bhogi. But we neither want to be a Guru Tyagi, where we reject our spiritual master, nor we don't want to be a Guru Bhogi, where we take the Guru to be a more mere mortal being and take advantage of his position. We only want to be a Guru Das or Guru Dasi, the servant of our spiritual master. So because Indra did this great offense, Tvashta offers his son Vishwarup, who is very, very celebrated, very educated, advanced Brahmana, who can perform a fire sacrifice to free Indra from this precarious offense. Now, it is interesting that Vishwarup, the Brahmana who is in charge of this yajna, agrees to help Indra. But Vishwarup is related to both demigods and as well as demons. One from the father side and another from the mother side. So mother is from the demonic family side and father is from the demigod side. So he was very affectionate to both the demons and the demigods because he is affectionate to both mother and father. So however, Indra was not aware of this. He wasn't aware that Vishwarup is such a person who does not take sides. He is equally disposed to everyone. He takes sides with the whole world. When we, it's like, when we hold flowers in our palm, in our two palms, if we hold flowers, what is flowers of what? Of a very fragrant spreading flowers. Fragrant nature flowers, if we hold in our two hands, in our palm, the nature of the flower is what? It is to spread the fragrance to both the hands equally, right? It doesn't say that I will give fragrance only to the left hand, but I will not give to the right hand. No, it doesn't say like that. Right palm, not a hand exactly, but to the palm. Similarly, the Brahmanas also, who are the devotees of high caliber, they take both sides. They are not biased. So Vishwarup was helping. He used to perform the austerities. So what he used to do during the day, he would perform oblations or austerities for Indra, and during the night time he would perform oblations or austerities for demons. Now Indra got to know about this. So now the whole section starts with this episode. Now let us read through the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we can come to this point, what Indra does to Vishwarup in this chapter. Okay, so can someone volunteer? Sudha Mataji, yes. You can read the first shloka, Mataji, and translation also.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Shri Shuka Uvacha Tasyasan Vishwarupasya Shiramsi Trini Bharata Soma Pitam Sura Pitam Annadam Iti Sushruma Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued. Vishwarupa, who was engaged as the priest of the demigods, had 3 heads. He used one to drink the beverage Somarasa, another to drink wine, and the third to eat food. O King Parikshit, thus I have heard from authorities.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is continuing the narration from the previous chapter. He is talking about, he is describing how Vishwarupa, has 3 heads. He was engaged as a priest of the demigods, and he has 3 heads. And with one of the head, he used to drink Somarasa, and from another head, he was drinking wine, and with another head, he was eating food. Okay, so this he is saying that I have heard from authorities. So here Prabhupada mentions in the purport that so they describe these great personalities, Sukadeva Goswami, they describe from the authoritative sources. They don't concoct anything from the mental concoction. Nothing comes from their mental concoction. Everything spoken in Srimad Bhagavatam, the great souls, when they speak the narrations of the Lord and his devotees, it is always coming from the parampara, coming from the authoritative sources only. So Prabhupada mentions the Vedic knowledge is called Shruti because it must be received by being heard from authorities. So he has heard from authorities. That's why he's saying that, I have heard from authorities. So Shukadeva Goswami has heard from authorities, and he is conveying the same to Parikshit Maharaj over here. Okay, so we'll move to the next text. We'll want to Sindhu Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hari Bol Mataji. Text 2.
Yes, Mataji.
Savai barhishi devebhyo bhagam pratyaksham uchyathai adadatyasya pitaro deva saprashrayam nripa. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There's only translation here, Mataji.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigods were related to Vishwarupa from his father's side, and therefore he visibly offered clarified butter in the fire by chanting mantras such as Indraya Idam Swaha. This is meant for King Indra, and Idam Agnaye. This is for the demigod of fire. He loudly chanted these mantras and offered each of the demigods his proper share. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here we see that Vishwarupa, who is a son of Tvashta is an Aditya, and his mother name is Rachna, the daughter of Daityas. Daitya means they are demons. So Vishwarupa's equally inclined towards Daityas and also Adityas. So here we are seeing that Vishwarupa is offering oblations and for Indra and also all the demigods. So he is doing that yajna over here by chanting the mantras. Now in the text 3, we'll go to the text 3. We'll read Radha Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sa eva hi dadau bhagam paroksham asuran prati yajamano vahad bhagam matrusneha vashanugaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Although offering clarified butter in the sacrificial fire in the name of the demigods, without the knowledge of the demigods, he also offered oblations to the demons because they were his relatives through his mother. Hare Krishna.
As I described earlier, because Vishwarupa is affectionate for both of his mother and father, so he is affectionate for both the families, both the demigod side and the demon side. And because he doesn't give any sides, so he was offering oblations in the fire on behalf of demigods during the daytime, and in the night time he was offering oblations in the fire on behalf of asuras. But he was doing it secretly without the knowledge of demigods. Okay, So we'll go to the text 4. Saras Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Text 4. Taddeva Helanam Tasya Dharmalikam Sureshwaraha Alakshya Tarasa Bhitas Takchirshani Achinat Rusa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Once upon a time, however, the king of heaven, Indra, understood that Vishwarupa was secretly cheating the demigods by offering oblations on behalf of the demons. He became extremely afraid of being defeated by the demons, and in great anger at Vishwarupa, he cut Vishwarupa's 3 heads from his shoulders. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. So here, when Vishwarupa was offering oblations to the demons, who are also his relatives, Indra had seen this. So he observed it and he became so insecure and so envious and so angry that what he did, he just cut the 3 heads of Vishwarup. He beheaded Vishwarup. Earlier, he has offended one Brahmana, who is the Guru, Brihaspati, who was his own Guru, and now he killed another Brahmana. This is Brahma Hatya. That was a Guru Aparad that he has made, and now he has done a Brahma Hatya. By not welcoming Brihaspati, Indra already committed a grave offense and he lost his kingdom. And somehow, by the mercy of Vishwarup, Indra regained his kingdom back and all the heavenly opulences, back. But Indra now beheads this Vishwarup. Killing the Guru now Vishwarup is considered to be Guru of Indra. So killing the Guru is much more grave offense than committing an aparad of neglecting the Guru. Indra was actually thinking in terms of why he has made this big offense, because Indra was thinking in terms of my group, their group, like that, friends, enemies. This kind of mindset is actually very dangerous. It is actually described by the commentators of Bhagavad Gita that when Arjuna, was speaking to Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna asked Krishna that please take my chariot to the place where I can see, all my enemies. So Krishna took the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. And when Arjuna asked Krishna, where are my enemies? Then Krishna pointed, he pointed in all directions. Maybe that's a mistake, right? Isn't it? The Kauravas are right there in front of Krishna, in front of Arjuna, and the Pandavas are right here. But Krishna is pointing out the enemies were present all over. Why? Because the commentators of Bhagavad Gita explain that the mentality to think that this is my enemy and this is my friend, that is actually our true enemy. When we think that this is my camp, this is not my camp, this is my friend's camp, this is my enemy's camp, these are Pandavas, these are Kauravas, that is the actual enemy. The proper understanding is, the narrow-minded thinking means what? This is mine, this is yours. This is mine, that is yours, like that. But broad-minded thinking means everything belongs to Krishna. We also belong to him, and everything belongs to everyone. So this is property of our Father. So when Indra was thinking, Vishwarup was supposed to perform yajna for my camp, but he is performing yajna during the day for my camp and during the night time for my opponent camp. He actually got a momentary anger. He got so much angry, so much out of insecurity, out of momentary anger, he beheaded the Vishwarup. Indra killed Vishwarup. So what happened after that, we'll see.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have one doubt.
Yes,
Shall I wait till the end? Or
no, if it is related, you can ask.
Yes, Mataji, it's related. Mataji, in the material world, when we join for service, there is something called loyalty, no, Mataji. So what Vishwarupa was cheating, isn't it wrong, Mataji?
No, it's not wrong. He's a Brahmana. Actually, according to the even according to the scriptural injunctions, the Brahmana is not supposed to be taking sides.
Oh.
So he was acting on that platform, and he is a advanced Brahmana, so he doesn't take sides. See, even if you see our spiritual masters also, even if we make some mistakes, we have been forgiven. Okay.
Yes.
So we are not we are not told to leave the organization or give up Krishna consciousness, something like that. They will not punish us like that. So we have been pardoned, right? So that is the behavior of a Vaishnava. That is the quality of a Vaishnava. He sees everyone equally, Samadarshina. So
Yes,
that's why whatever Vishwarupa has done, it's not a mistake.
Okay, Mataji. And what should have been the behavior of Indra after finding out this, Mataji?
Yeah, what should have been the behavior of Indra is, so Indra should have discussed with Vishwarup why he is been doing this, because he has to find the reason for his action, right? He didn't even think through, he didn't even waited to understand why this is being happening. He did not want to hear the reason. He felt very insecure that he will lose his kingdom. He felt that someone will come and already he has lost his kingdom earlier. So he thought again the demons may become very powerful, and they may take over our position. So to secure that, he immediately beheaded, not even checking once with the Vishwarup on what actually the reason behind his action.
Okay, Mataji. It's difficult to understand, but I'll try to understand. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So who will read this text 5? Rupali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Soma Pitam Tu Yaksasya Shira Asi Kapindala Kalavinka Surapitam Annadam Yatsatiri Titiri. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, the head meant for drinking Tum Rasa was transformed into a Kapindala broncholine cartridge. Similarly, the head meant for drinking wine was transformed into a Kalvinka sparrow, and the head meant for eating food became a Titiri, common partridge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So when Indra beheaded the 3 heads of Vishwarup, now the 3 heads were transformed into 3 birds. So the one which the face where he was using to drink Somaras, that was transformed into Kapinjala, the bird called Kapinjala, and the one with whom he was drinking wine, that face is transformed to Kalavinka, that is a sparrow, and the third face is transformed into Titri, which is a common partridge. I really don't know how these birds look like. I just know that Kalavinka means a sparrow. So these are the 3 birds that came out of 3 heads of Vishwarup when Indra beheaded him. Now let us see what happens. Who will read? Now,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Brahma Hatya Manchalina Jagraha Yadapi Shvaraha Samvatsarat Rante Tadadam Bhutanam Sha Vishuddhaye Bhumya Ambudrumayo Shida Abhya Ashaturdha Vyabhajdvari. Hare Krishna. Translation. Although Indra was so powerful that he could neutralize the sinful reactions for killing a Brahmana, he repeatedly accepted the burden of these reactions with folded hand. He suffered for 1 year and then to purify himself, he distributed the reactions for this sinful killing among the earth, water, trees, and women. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. So think about it. Now here, Indra already did a Guru Aparadh first. Then he again committed an offense of Brahma Hatya. So Indra is wearing one offensive crown over other. Now what to do? So he is getting all these offenses and reactions, and he is also ready for it. So Indra became repented again, and he wanted to go through the reaction for it. Sometimes we may repeatedly commit some mistake even after repenting for that mistake. Unless we are completely purified, we may not be able to completely restrain ourselves from committing mistakes. So Indra, when he offended his guru, Brihaspati, earlier, he regretted for it. And he also learned a lesson. He learned his lesson there. But again, he committed another mistake out of his deep insecurity. So why? He felt, as I said earlier, again, that, he felt the demons may take over. They may become powerful because Vishwarup was offering oblations to him. So they will also become powerful and they may come and occupy all our kingdom again. So he became insecure like this. So again, when he did this Brahma Hatya, he again repented for his mistake. Killing the Brahmana is wrong, and this Brahmana was a guru also. So killing the Brahmana guru is even more grave mistake, and thus Indra received, because of that, he has received the sinful reactions for killing this Brahmana. So Indra suffered that reaction for 1 year, and later he distributed this reaction to 4 parts. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. He has distributed to the 4 things. We will see that in the next shlokas, upcoming shlokas. So before we go further, we have to understand that actually, there's a lesson that we can learn from here. Actually, offense is something worst to commit. Okay, offenses means what? Actually, they put us off the fence of bhakti. Offense means put us off the fence of bhakti. Sometimes actually it is better that we perform little bhakti and keep quiet. Then we will actually make a good progress. But most of the times we fall from our standing, not because, we lack our sadhana. We may be performing a very good sadhana, but we fall from our level of advancement in consciousness because of offensive words of criticism. What to speak of action like Indra? Indra is performing through action. There are 3 kinds of offenses. So offenses in the mind, committed in the mind, offenses committed through words, and offenses committed through actions. And they also progressively go more and more intense. The reactions are more and more intense, as we progress from mind to words to actions. So we should make sure, even if we have disagreements with someone, we can try to peacefully have a conversation. Like now Mataji had asked how Indra should have behaved. He should have had a peaceful conversation, checking like, what could have happened, what is the reason for his action, his oblations. He's giving oblations to demons. So he would have find out why is he doing it. But he did not want to do anything, out of anger, momentary anger, he just chopped his head, which is not correct. That's a even more worst mistake that he has done. So when you are, if we have a disagreement with someone, and if it is not working out, and if you want to have a peaceful conversation, and if the other person is not going to take your word, then it's better to keep that advice with ourselves. Why to throw an extra roti when other person is not hungry? Why to give that advice when other person will anyways won't respect us? So what we do is we try to push, but what we do is like we try to push our thoughts on the other person, and if the other person repels, and if they are not ready to take our take our words or conversation forward, then we start complaining to others, that we go to the others and we say that I try to help him out, help him, but he calls me with names, and the whole relationship gets spoiled. This is all happening because of offensive mentality. Once a devotee asked a sannyasi that Maharaj, what is the easiest way to get Krishna? All of us wants to know what is the easiest way to get Krishna. So then that sannyasi has responded saying that hold your tongue and surrender. Just make sure that you don't offend and criticize anyone. So when you do that, you will get Krishna very easily. But that is a simple for the simple and difficult for the difficult people. It is like that. So it's so difficult for us. Even the simple things becomes very difficult because of our offensive mentality. So we need to keep checking on that mentality every now and then. Is my words going to harm anyone? Is my actions going to harm anyone? Is my thoughts going to harm anyone? Because the thoughts will not remain as thoughts in the mind forever. One fine day it erupts as words or actions. It comes out. So we have to be very careful with our mind. We have to keep checking as a sadhakas. We need to keep checking on those, on our own actions. So Indra here, he once he had chopped off the heads of Vishwarup, he has another offense on his head. So then what he did now, he wants to distribute. He had accepted the offense, and he had underwent the reactions for 1 full year. And then after that, to purify himself further, so he tried to distribute the sinful reactions to earth, water, trees, and fourth to women. So let us see what happened when to these 4 people, to these 4 things, earth, water, trees, and women, what happened after taking the reactions. So who will read this text now? Okay, Krishnamurti Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Bhumisturiyam jagraha katha pura varena vai irinam brahmana hatyaha rupam bhaumam pradishyate. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Translation you can read.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. In return for King Indra's benediction, that ditches in the earth would be filled automatically. The land accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions for killing a Brahmana. Because of those sinful reactions, we find many deserts on the surface of the earth. May I read purport, Mataji?
Yes, it's very interesting. You can read, Prabhu.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Because deserts are manifestations of the earth's diseased condition. No auspicious ritualistic ceremony can be performed in a desert. Persons destined to live in deserts are understood to be sharing the reactions for the sin of Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahmana. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So here we see now, because of accepting this curse, earth has some deserts. He has given 1/4 of the share of the sinful reactions to the earth. So when Indra gave that, earth has accepted it. So for accepting the sinful reaction, Indra also gave benediction to the earth. What is the benediction? That there are some ditches on the earth, right? So he's saying that those ditches will automatically filled because of the movement of soil. So this is a benediction that if there are ditches on the earth, they get automatically filled. That is the benediction that Indra gave to the earth for accepting 1/4 of his sinful reaction. And because of the accepting the sinful reaction, earth has got a deserts. And Prabhupada so beautifully mentions here that deserts are actually manifestations of earth's diseased condition, because you cannot perform any ritualistic ceremony there, auspicious ritualistic ceremony. So though the persons who live there, they are understood to be sharing the reactions for the sin of Brahmahatya, the killing of Brahmana. Okay, so and then we'll move to the next text where we see what will happen to the trees. So when they accepted the curse. Pramod Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, you can read Prabhuji.
Turyam cheda virohena varena jagrahurdrumaha tesham niryasarupena brahmahatya pradrashyate. Translation by Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. In return for Indra's benediction that their branches and twigs would grow back when trimmed, the trees accepted 1/4 of the reactions for killing a Brahmana. These reactions are visible in the following of sap.
Flowing.
Visible in the flowing of sap from trees. Therefore, one is forbidden to drink this sap. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So we all know that the trees have a sap that flows from the tree. That is because of trees accepting the curse, accepting that 1/4 of the reactions of killing a Brahmana from Indra. So because of that, there is a sap, that's a sap coming out of the trees. And what did Indra gave in return as a benediction to these trees? He said that whenever the branches and twigs are trimmed, then or when the trees are trimmed, the branches and twigs will automatically grow. So this is the benediction that they got in exchange of accepting the sinful reactions. So now next we'll see what will happen to the water. Would like to read? Okay, Pramod Prabhu, you can go ahead.
Shashvat.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Shashvat kama varenam turiyam jagrahustriyah rajo rupena tvasamho masi pradrashyate.
Yes,
Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In return for Lord's Indra's benediction that they would be able to enjoy lusty desires continuously, even during pregnancy, for as long as sex is not injurious to the embryo, women accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions. As a result of those reactions, women manifest the signs of menstruation every month. Purport by Prabhupada.
That's okay, Prabhuji. That's okay. I'll just explain. So now here, the reaction that a woman has taken, that 1/4 of the reaction of killing the Brahmana is, she gets the signs of menstruation every month, month by month. Signs of menstruations will be there every month. And the benediction that is given, it's a benediction. Please note, it's a benediction which has been given by Indra to woman is, she is able to enjoy lusty desires continuously, even during pregnancy, for as long as sex is not injurious to the embryo. Okay, so we will go further. So the next shloka. Yeah, now Kishore Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dravya bhuro varenapa Sturiyam jagruhu malama Tasu bruda buddha fena Abhyam drashtam tadharati kshipana. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And in return for King Indra's benedictions that water would increase the volume of other substances with which it was mixed. Water accepted 1/4 of the sinful reactions. Therefore, there are bubbles and foam in water. When one collects water, these should be avoided. Purport: if water is mixed with the milk, fruit juice, or other similar substances, it increases their volume, and no one can understand which has increased. In return for these benedictions, water accepted 1/4 of Indra's sinful reactions. These sinful reactions are visible in a foam and bubbles. Therefore, one should avoid foam and bubbles while collecting drinking water. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So the sinful reactions that water has accepted, for accepting the sinful reactions of that Brahma Hatya, what does the water has? Water gets the bubbles and the foams. So we see sometimes, right? The water has the bubbles and foam, and that is actually sinful reaction. So that water we are not supposed to drink, because if you drink that, it is poisonous. I mean, you will also incur the reactions. So for water, what was the benediction that Indra gave? Is like water would increase the volume of other substances with which it was mixed. If it is mixed with the milk, or a fruit juice or any other similar substances, the volume will increase, and no one can understand, I mean, because of what it has increased. Either it is because of milk or water. So, or because of juice or of water, but it is the benediction that the water has received. So we know all this. So can anyone tell, if like can guess why Indra has to choose earth, trees, woman, and water to distribute his sinful reactions? Any answers?
Because they are very tolerant. Mataji.
Yeah, correct. Your answer is correct. So this he could that Indra could distribute his sinful reactions to earth, water, trees, and women, because all these are all symbol of tolerance. Only because they have the capacity to tolerate silently, they were distributed with this high responsibility of neutralizing for mistakes not committed by them. In this regard, actually, in 11th canto, 7th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a conversation that takes place between a king, Yadu king, and a Avadut Brahman. So wherein the Avadut Brahman, he glorifies the tolerant nature of earth, water, and trees there. So we have many lessons to be learned, from the earth, from the water, and from trees, and also from women also. So actually, earth is a symbol of tolerance, because even if you drill the oil, or if you do an atomic explosions, if you do pollute the earth, and whatever you do on the earth, it is actually, if you see, it has been constantly harassed by demonic living entities. Of course, we also we know that we are not supposed to pollute, but we also go and pollute the earth. Sometimes not only human beings, sometimes lush forests, when there is a lot of forests are there, even those lush forests have been cut down by the greedy men for their commercial interest, right? So, and because of that, there's a lot of wasteland is being created. Despite all these circumstances, all these disturbances, the earth continues to provide all the necessities of the living beings. In this way, we can learn the art of tolerance by studying the earth. We build thousands of houses, everything on this earth only. We sustain on this earth only. Still, we are never grateful to her. But by the Lord's grace, she's still providing us with the basic necessities without asking anything in return. That's why we call earth as Mother Earth. She is called as Mother, because Mother tolerates everything without complaining, right? So hence, because of this tolerating capacity, the sin of Indra was forwarded to the earth. So, and then not only that, the Avadut Brahman says that just like the earth, just like the earth, the sober person, who is a sober person, earth is a sober person, even when harassed by other living beings, should understand that his aggressors are acting helplessly under the control of God, and thus we should never be distracted from the progress on his own path. Like, for example, even this is one of the lessons which Avadut is telling us that even like a sober man, if consider earth as a sober person, so as a earth, even if it is harassed by so many people, it doesn't go against the aggressors, but it understands that these people are only acting helplessly by the modes of material nature. So that's how we should also, a sober person should think that even if we are harassed by other living beings, we should understand that this is all happening because those people are acting helplessly under the control of modes of material nature. And because of that, we should not distract ourselves from the progress of our own path in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So these are the two lessons which Avadut Brahman shares. And then what are the lessons that we can learn from the water? Water is actually a symbol of purity along with the tolerance. We dump all the waste in the water, right? Like we dump all the waste in the water. There are so many water bodies which are converted into dump bodies, waste bodies. But still it is tolerating. We contaminate the water and then we comment that water is not hygienic, right? So, and even in Mother Ganges, if you take Mother Ganges, when we dip in that holy water, actually the Mother Ganges is taking the sins of everyone. It's actually, she's tolerating us day by day and years after years. But she doesn't say, why you papi, why are you taking dip in my waters? It doesn't complain. And we also use water for all our basic necessities, but still we never pay our debt back. We don't pay money, except that these what do you call, like this the companies that provide the water bottles, they actually take the money, but actually the water body itself will not take any money. You can go to any river and you can drink water. It doesn't say anything. But what we do, we don't we are not very grateful to the water bodies, but what we do, we make very much dirty. So Avadut Brahman, he gives a lesson that just like a water, the saintly person also, who is free from all contamination and who is gentle by nature, and who by speaking by his speech creates a very peaceful and beautiful vibration. Like how the water on the river is like it's a very peaceful flowing water, right? In a river, it's not like ocean, like the waves are jumping. Just by seeing, by touching and hearing such a saintly person, the living entity gets purified. Just like how a person, when comes in contact with the pure water, gets purified, similarly a saintly person, he purifies all those who come in contact with him, because he is chanting the glories of the Lord always. So this is one of the lessons that we can learn from the water. So what are the lessons that we can learn from trees? Trees are symbol of dedication along with the tolerance. So one may take very excellent lessons from the pious trees. Who, what do? The pious trees, they offer, like we know that, there are pious trees and impious. So the pious trees, they offer innumerable benefits, such as fruits, flowers, cooling shade, and medicinal extracts. Even when the tree is suddenly cut down and it has been, dragged away, the tree does not protest, but continues to give service to the others in the form of firewood, right? It gives the shade also. Thus, one should become, learn the qualities, these magnanimous qualities from the tree. The tree also dedicate all the wealth that it possesses, all the assets, like, its branches, its twigs, its fruits, its flowers, everything it provides, it dedicates for the welfare of others. It's only like, like that tree, we should also become very selfless in our personality, that so that we can also give ourselves to others. Then everybody's life becomes very very happy, right? Like when we take shade of the tree, we feel very soothing, right? So we should also bring soothing to others' life by taking example from the tree and developing that tolerance and, the attributes that tree has. All those we should also develop within us. And then the last thing is the lessons from the woman. So what does a woman teach us? Woman in general is very tolerant. They tolerate many pains in her lifetime, whether it is whether the woman performs a role of a wife, a daughter, or a mother. In every stage of her life, it's everything is only just based on tolerance. There are so many mothers over here, so everyone can understand. And the more she is tolerant, the more powerful she becomes. A woman tolerates all the pain of even labor, tolerates all the hurting words of her near and dear ones. And so this is the innate quality of tolerance. Due to this innate quality of tolerance, all these 4 people were selected by Indra for neutralizing his sins, because Indra knew that they would tolerate without saying a word of uncomfort or pain. Okay, so we should also understand that this is all coming. These are all 4 things are the sources from Krishna. The source is from Krishna. Okay, so here, with this we will end the session here. And if you have any questions, comments, please let me know. No comments? Okay, thank you so much for all your patient hearing.
Hare Krishna Mataji, there is a question in the chat box.
Okay. Why is Indra not questioning by Narayana or Shiva or Brahma? Is he not acting as if he is not answerable to any? Also, is it acceptable transferring the reactions to another entity? Okay, first question I did not understand. And for the second question, is it acceptable transferring the reactions to another entity? I think it is possible, not for the living entities. Of course, like, the living entities in this material world, like us living beings on this earth planet, but maybe for the higher planetary systems, the people of the higher planetary systems, they may have different codes of conduct. They may have different spiritual injunctions. So according to the scriptural injunctions, it is possible. Otherwise, why would Indra would transfer the reactions to others? It's not possible.
Mataji, my question is like Indra is answerable to Lord Narayana or to Shiva or to Brahma, right? So whatever actions that he's doing, they should question him as to for the reactions, right? So he has cut the head of his own guru. So for that will be Narayana will come to know about this, right? So either Lord Narayana or Shiva or Brahma would have come to know about this. So in that case, you should have questioned. They should have questioned him as to why he has cut the head. So moreover, transferring the sins of his own reactions is not allowed, right? So that's what my question is.
No,
How
it is
can
not
one
allowed for
transfer the
us, Prabhu. I mean, that's what I
So
said.
even for demigods, right? So he's answerable to one of his own. He's
I don't
answerable to
know.
Lord
I mean,
Krishna also.
if that was not the case, then I don't think that it is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is, the
No,
Srimad
we have
Bhagavatam is
only
one of
been
the
seeing Indra is doing that sin. Indra is doing. We have been only hearing about Indra doing something or the other, some sort of other actions, ma'am, Mataji. And for every action, we don't see that he's facing any. We don't see. We don't come to hear that he has faced this type of punishment or that type of punishment.
Actually, here, if you see, it is said in one of the verses that he had underwent the reactions for one year, right? So, but the Parikshit, Sukadev Goswami has not explained in elaborately what kind of punishment Indra went through in that 1 year. So, for that we cannot comment, Prabhu. Maybe there may be other shastras. Actually, yeah, only in the Bhakti Shastra here, this Srimad Bhagavatam, this whole episode of Vritrasura is actually meant to glorify Vritrasura. But if you see other shastras, whereas other Upanishads and where the story of Vritrasura comes, there they consider Vritrasura as a demon only. They don't consider him as a Vaishnava. But the Srimad Bhagavatam alone, this Bhakti, the scriptures who propagate Bhakti, the Bhakti scriptures alone glorify like Vritrasura as a Vaishnava. Actually, this is all mentioned only to, as I said, like how the Lord, even though if we make mistakes, how the Lord is accepting the people, because this Canto 6 is all about how Lord gives protection, even though when someone commits a grave mistakes, how the Lord is still forgiving, accepting, embracing them and giving the protection. And we may not be doing these kind of sinful acts, but we may have done it in our past lives. We don't know that. What kind of reactions we went through, we don't know. Okay. And it is just, it's, see, the committing sinful activity is just like a road accident, Prabhu. It just happens, right? Road accidents does not, like you don't meditate that, okay, today I'm going to meet with an accident. No, right? It's just an accidental thing that happens. So even committing sins, even in our lives, I'm telling you, like, as of now, we may not be doing any grave mistakes, but sometime in our life down the line, we don't know when we meet with one accident where we commit some big mistake, which we don't know. And coming to the part, as you asked, why the Lord is not questioning here, that part comes later on. How the Lord does not immediately come in the forefront. Even when we do mistakes, even in this material world, like if you see, even if a thief is stealing somebody's house, and when he goes and he steals, though the police, though the house people would have gone and they have filed an FIR, the police will know. But then they will not immediately arrest that person, right? They will be doing investigation. It takes some time, right? Even in this case, the story would, how the Supreme Lord has reciprocated with Indra and how he reciprocated with Vritrasura, we will come to know in the later sections, Prabhu. But as far as I know, that the Bhagavatam is actually, the whole story of this Vritrasura is to glorify Vritrasura, because he is the hero of this section, rather than Indra. Of course, they highlight the Indra's mistakes so that we don't commit mistakes like Indra. But it is only to bring out the glory of Vritrasura. This pastime has been enumerated here.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, I read that once Indra became a hog for his offensive behavior like that, Mataji.
Yeah, Indra became a hog. Yeah, that is there, Mataji. He keeps doing so many mistakes. All throughout Bhagavatam, if you see, somewhere or the other, Indra is making mistakes. But still, Lord is so merciful that he forgives all the mistakes that Indra has done. But even though he's doing these mistakes, please do understand that we are still insignificant living beings. Indra is always that post that he is holding is not a small post. No, and
Yes.
the Indra
Mataji,
post is a very big post.
I also heard that great devotees like Shambhu, Brahma, and Indra, they go to such extent that they play. These are all just pastimes to show that even great devotees can commit mistakes. Is it correct, Mataji?
Yeah. Sometimes Lord, makes them as instruments to teach us the lessons and to make them participate in the pastimes as well. Yes, that is also true. But it is not in all the cases, Mataji. Sometimes it happens.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Thanks, Mataji. Very insightful, nice class, Mataji. Dandavat pranams.
Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, वांछित कृपा सिंधु देवजय, पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो।
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Mataji,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanyawad.
Hare Krishna.